Hey everybody, I'm Boseman, aka The Terrible Australian of supermastery.com, and welcome to my video review of Australian director Alex Proyas' latest film, Gods of Egypt. So let's get right into it. Now, there's a film that comes along every year that gets universally hated upon. Like, critics say it's a bad film, and blah blah blah, and it becomes a huge flop. And there's no mistaking that it is. But what makes it stand out compared to other bad films that come out that same year that it's released is just how utterly insane it is. Last year, Jupiter Ascending was that film. This year, it's Gods of Egypt. This movie, I'm just going to state off right off the bat, this is not a good film at all. The plot doesn't make any sense. There are so many things that happen in this film that just happen for no apparent reason, and there's a lot of really bizarre elements to it, and some of the performances kind of range from being scenery chewing to being really awkward to being bad. But I have to admit that I actually had a bit of fun with this film, and mainly for just how completely, utterly, batshit insane this film is at times. There are things, I expected a lot of things with this film. There are things where this film goes, plot-wise, and how characters are introduced, and what they're up to and whatnot, that is just completely ridiculous, and so over the top. And this movie is a complete, utter mess in so many ways, but it is a glorious mess as well, and which makes it very watchable. And this is definitely a film that I just couldn't look away. It is kind of a car crash in a lot of ways, but I have to admire just the utter insanity of this, and I got to give Alex Proyas praise for that, for making this film that is so ridiculous, so insane, and doing it completely straight. And I was just kind of laughing a lot during this movie, and just kind of embracing the ridiculousness of what was happening. To kind of give you an idea just how crazy this movie is, because basically Geoffrey Rush is kind of like the big main sort of Egyptian god whose name I can't think of at the moment, so forgive me. And in the movie, when we see him finally meet his character, he's in space, and he's basically fighting off a giant space worm. I mean, it's that kind of stuff that is so ridiculous, and in a way, it kind of makes the film kind of strangely enjoyable because of that, because it's sort of the ridiculousness and all that. And I know the film's got a lot of sort of controversy as of late, because casting, white people in Egyptian roles and whatnot, and which I can understand completely. Even, they're god characters, gods can look whatever they want to look like, but that's a whole different story altogether. Not that I'm disagreeing with anyone out there who does believe this film is whitewash. I can definitely see that, but I do think the controversy was a little overblown, but that's a whole different story altogether. But in a way, this film is so ridiculous and so stupid in a lot of ways that I just completely embrace the utter insanity of this film. This film is so over the top, completely CGI written from beginning to end. Every big major set piece is full of CGI, but at the same time, very watchable as well. And I will say this, visually the film does look great as well, and as you would expect it being an Alex Proyas film. And it is just... And also the acting, like I said, some of it's on and off. Brenton, Thwaites, Aussie actor, is kind of on and off as well. And also Courtney, Eaton, who was in Mad Max Fury Road, she was on and off with her performance as well. And of course you got scenery chewing work from the likes of Geoffrey Rush, Gerard, Butler, and also Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. And also Nikolaj Coster-Waldau is kind of playing the straight man and all this, and he's also our lead as well, which is kind of cool. And also Élodie, who's just gorgeous in this film, and even though she's kind of gives a very very kind of bland performance as well. But you know, you could tell that everyone is trying, and also the fact that this is an Australian-made film. There's a lot of Australian actors who pop up, and this film to me is just worth watching. Just seeing Bryan Brown, the most quintessential Australian guy in all of Australian film history, playing an Egyptian god, and just playing with an Australian accent. So that it's just these kind of things that are so dumb, but I kind of enjoyed it because of that. And I got to, like I said, I have to enjoy, kind of give it credit for embracing the insanity of what's going on, and almost having this I don't give a, you know, kind of attitude. And in a way, it kind of made the film watchable for me. Like I said, it's not a good film at all, but it is completely a complete mess in so many ways. But it is a watchable mess, I will say that. And I can definitely see this film being kind of a cult, so bad it's good film in the future. And it definitely, in my mind, is this year's Jupiter Ascending, the movie that I think will probably... I know a lot of people will hate it or not, whatnot, and to be fair, I don't blame you at all. But I can definitely see this film kind of being a cult bad film in the future, because it's just so insane. And I actually would recommend people to see this movie based on how utterly insane it is. So if I had to give Gods of Egypt a rating, I'm giving it 2.5 stars. Like I said, technically it's really good, but it's just complete, I don't know, craziness that has to be seen to be believed. And also, yeah, it's not a good film at all, but it's kind of worth watching as well for some, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's the end of my video review of Gods of Egypt. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone.